Joining me now is Congresswoman Madeleine Dean of Pennsylvania, who served as a House manager on the second impeachment trial of Donald Trump. Her new book, Under Our Roof, A Son's Battle for Recovery, a Mother's Battle for Her Son, comes out tomorrow. And Congresswoman Dean, thanks for being here. I want to get to this point about a 9/11 commission. There's been a lot of talk that that's something that would be needed. But my fear about a 9/11 commission is who would appoint the people on it. Ron Johnson, your fellow senator, who's had some strange musings in the past, today in a radio interview said he didn't think it was an armed attack. He said, this didn't seem like an armed insurrection to me. I mean, armed, when you think armed, don't you think that means people had guns? I didn't see any guns. I would like to know, did anybody recover any ammunition? Did anybody recover any firearms? If he had anything to do with that commission, it wouldn't be a commission, it would be a circus. Do you trust the 9/11 commission that any Republicans, Lindsey Graham, Ron Johnson, any of them, have anything to do with?
Well, Joy, thank you for having me tonight. And it's strange, you and I are celebrating President's Day following the sad acquittal of the president for amassing an insurrection, an attack by Americans against Americans. So what I keep thinking in your beautiful opening there is, have they no decency? We know that expression, but for God's sake, have they no decency to support this president in some faux, I don't know what you call it, lack of spine, lack of conscience? I don't understand it. So I want a commission. I want it to be impartial. Certainly the people you just talked about have fully disqualified themselves from sitting on any such commission.
Do you think that people like Lindsey Graham, who also tried to overturn the election, who's now under investigation in Georgia, should be barred, even though he's a member of the Gang of Eight, from picking anyone from the commission? And should that commission investigate people like your colleagues, Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz?
I don't know how this commission will be set up, but certainly I don't think somebody like Lindsey Graham, who has spoken out of both sides of his mouth, disgracefully so, should be anywhere near this commission. Lindsey Graham sat there. I was there. I made eye contact with the senator as we made our case. I'm very proud to have been a part of that impeachment team. And we gave the American people and the senators in the room who were witness and victim in that very crime scene the facts that we could, that we knew at the moment, that were overwhelming and damning and clear and certain. So folks like Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell should not sit on the commission. You know, I was struck because I was there for the vote. I waited and stood in the back of the chamber as each senator stands and announces his or her verdict, literally stands. Lindsey Graham barely stood to say not guilty. Mitch McConnell stood to say not guilty. And then what did Mitch McConnell do within minutes? He stood again in that very same spot. And he said there is no question that the president is practically and morally responsible for the insurrection, for the attack on the Capitol on a co-equal branch. He said it was a disgraceful, disgraceful dereliction of duty. You know what rang in my mind when he said a disgraceful dereliction of duty? I thought, Senator McConnell, yes, you're talking about the president, but aren't you also talking about yourself?
Well, then if we're to keep someone like Mitch McConnell from having anything to do with appointing members, because I foresee people like Mitch McConnell, people like Lindsey Graham, trying to put like a Jim Jordan or a Devin Nunes on such a commission to blow it up, that their only purpose would be to blow up the commission, to obfuscate and make the commission come up with a non-answer, and to protect both the former president and their fellow colleagues who are also insurrectionists. This is a sort of Jim Crow-style caucus at this point. Do you think that such a commission should be controlled by the Justice Department, should be put together outside with no congressional, particularly congressional Republican input?
I think it should be a fully independent commission, perhaps with retired judges, those who would want to serve in order to collect the data, the evidence, review it against the law. And when that happens, I hope they also collect the stories and catalog the stories of the heroes. You talked about the custodians. Think about that. After the destruction and desecration of the Capitol, where lives were lost, they came in with a sense of pride and purpose and duty and did their job cleaning up the blood-stained floors, the shattered glass, the splinters of wood and frames and mirrors. I wish the senators had risen to the same level that the custodians had, to do their duty, to do their jobs with pride. So I hope we catalog the heroes as well as those who aided and abetted the president in an insurrection.
And my final question to you, Congresswoman, should such a commission have subpoena power, and should the former vice president be subpoenaed, since he was one of the potential victims of this lynch mob?
We've seen all the difficulties around subpoenas. You know that I'm on the Judiciary Committee. We're still working on the subpoena of Don McGahn. Imagine that, all these months later. I hope that certainly that the committee would have all the power necessary to collect the facts and the data and the evidence, to depose witnesses, to hear from them. But I guess I also really hope, and maybe it's naive of me or optimistic of me, that folks will want to come in, will want to offer testimony for the insurrection, the attack on our Capitol. Please, God, that it never happen again. We never would have thought it would happen. But I hope they will come forward. I hope whatever commission is set up is independent and has the full power that they can collect all of the evidence.
Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, congratulations on your book. Thank you very much for spending President's Evening with us. Thank you. And joining me now is Tim Miller, writer at large. Cheers. Writer at large at The Bulwark, and Charles Blow, columnist for the New York Times. And